Let us go out west. The game of the day. USC at Oregon. Oregon is a 9.5-point favorite in this game. Now, I realize they're at home, but Ari, were you a little bit surprised by the size of that spread?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, me too. I'm glad I'm not crazy.
A little inside baseball. We were looking at the spreads when we were doing videos at 3:30 in the morning up in Georgia. And this one came up. I'm like, that might be wrong. I don't want to use that yet. And it wasn't wrong. You found the right one. It's 9.5. Wow. I think that might give some thought maybe, or a little hint into what we're going to do here. It looks like we're going to be on the same side. This is the game of the week. And honestly, I think it would have been even if there were some big time SEC games. Like I know we get accused all the time of being an SEC centric show. And I think part of the reason why it feels that way at times to people, Andy, is because the SEC
they play more interesting games most of the time.
Top 10 teams are more in the SEC, and their commissioner is very powerful, and they're got a lot of coaches at the moment that are in tough situations. Like it's kind of hard not to talk about the SEC a lot because there a lot of what happens there is what's driving the sport. But in the name of the everyman who might not live in the South and might not be in SEC, like we should and are spending time with this. Like this is an important game, and I think it's a nostalgic game. This could factor into the Big Ten race. This will certainly factor.
The nostalgia factor is just a bonus, Ari.
Yeah,
this is an incredibly important game in the story of this season.
Yes,
for a lot of reasons. One, Oregon has found itself in the Indiana spot, and I know that Oregon people don't want to hear that. But that's where Oregon is right now. It's the same spot Indiana was in last year, where when you look at the schedule at the beginning of the year, you're like, oh, this is a pretty tough schedule. We'll be fine here if we're 10-2. The schedule hasn't turned out as tough. Oregon lost to the best team it played. As long as they only have one loss, they're fine. If they have two losses, they do run into the problem because, I bet Alabama will be ranked ahead of them despite having one more loss when the committee rankings come out tomorrow night. They have to be careful here. If they have one loss, they're fine. If they have two, they still might be fine, but they might not. So that is something to worry about. USC, on the other hand, we went into the season thinking USC was not going to challenge for a playoff spot. Here they are in a game where if they win it, they will be very much in the mix. And if they win this game and then the UCLA game, I think they're in.
Yeah.
And that's a huge step forward for USC. And I will argue that the win against Iowa was a huge step forward for USC. Lincoln Riley called it a culture win. I think he's right. That's all the things we've said about USC in the Lincoln Riley era, that they're not physical enough. When the other team needs to, they'll just run it down your throat. These are the things that this USC team has started to rebel against. It's started to show that maybe it's not going to be that way forever. And if this team can go to Oregon and beat a very physical, very good Oregon team, then maybe our stereotypes of the Lincoln Riley USC teams are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. And the styles here, Andy, are more similar, like you said. So, Andy, where are you leaning? I think you said it all there. It doesn't seem so many points, dude.
It seems like a lot of points. Now, okay. It seems like Decorian Moore is going to be back maybe because Dan Lanning, before the Minnesota game, said they thought they might get him back. They did not get him back for Minnesota, but they did get Kenyon Sadiq back, which is another big time weapon. So if they have Decorian Moore and Kenyon Sadiq, then their offense is considerably different than the one you saw against Iowa, considerably different than the one you saw even against Minnesota. That makes a difference. That does stress the USC defense quite a bit more. Oregon is still a really good running team. Oregon can control the ball on the ground against really good teams. And that makes you worry about USC because can USC stop the run, force Dante Moore to beat them with his arm? I think that's the best way for them to win. Now, on the other side of it, Oregon has a probably a more athletic defensive front. Well, not probably. Definitely a more athletic defensive front than the teams USC has run the ball really effectively against so far. Now, Michigan's sort of the outlier there because Michigan's got a pretty good front seven.
Mm-hmm.
and USC controlled the ball on the ground against them. So I just think, like, I have no doubt that Jaden Maava and Mekhi Lemon and Jacoby Lane are going to be great. But if USC doesn't run the ball effectively, I think Oregon can handle a one-dimensional team. So that's really what it's going to come down to. Are you opening some holes? Is King Miller, ripping off some 8-yard runs? If they are, this is going to be a down to the wire last team with the ball type game.
Yeah. I am kind of in a tough spot with Oregon because when you look at the sum of their parts, I feel like they should be looking more explosive and more dominant than they have in the last month. Mm-hmm. And I think that team might still be in there. Like 9.5 seems like a lot, but you might be watching the game on Saturday and be like, 9.5 isn't nearly enough. Like that.
Yeah, maybe like Ohio State last year, where it's like there's a switch, and if it gets flipped, you're dead.
Exactly. Like I think that Oregon's ceiling is higher than USC's, just based on
Agreed.
The personnel. So I'm still going to take the points here. It's a lot of points, but it is possible that you and I are texting on Saturday and are like, what the hell were we thinking? So
100%.
Yeah.
I'm not super confident in this, but I still think I think I was wrong at the beginning of the year about USC. I think I thought they were going to be a slightly souped up version of last year's USC team. And I think they're considerably better than that. And I'm kind of excited to see what happens when all these recruits they have coming in get there. If they keep doing what they're doing and then add some more elite talent into that, then they will be a playoff team. So I just like the way they've evolved this year. And I just don't know that I'm ready to say, oh no, you're still a notch below these other teams. Because I'm not sure Oregon is necessarily on Ohio State's level.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take USC to cover here. I don't know that they win outright, but I do think they're going to make this a fun game. And if they do win, then they are ahead of schedule. Yeah. And that's very important for them. But Oregon, they win,
if USC
they still have that Washington game.
If USC they would be a competitive game though, or how do you feel about where they are in their schedule?
Oh, I think this can be a very competitive game.
No,
I'm picking USC.
No, I'm saying like for Lincoln Riley in the schedule of USC's build. Like if they play a competitive game, lose, finish 9-3 or whatever, like are they like, do you think Lincoln Riley's earning back welfare right now?
I don't know that the administration is necessarily like doing backflips over it, but I think they're fine with it. I think they're looking at that and saying, you got the team better than last year. You're in the right place. You're recruiting well. And next year's your year. Make the playoff or else.
Mm-hmm. I wonder how the fans are feeling.
I think they're okay with it right now. The USC fans have not been as impatient.
They haven't.
Some of the SEC fan bases or some of the other Big Ten fan bases. I think they are a little more patient, possibly because the nice weather just makes them pretty cool about things, like pretty chill. I don't know. They do not freak out the way some of these SEC fan bases freak out.
It's also been a lot longer than some of these SEC fan bases since they've been very good too. So there's a longer probably pathway to great than like say, I don't know, LSU for instance.
I think they can see it though. I really do.
Yeah. Okay, we're both on the Trojans. We'll see what happens. And but I'm super excited for this game, and I hope we all should at least acknowledge how cool this is to get a little Pac-12 flavor back in our life for at least one weekend.
Absolutely. So, yeah, somebody hang a Pac-12 championship banner after this. Go steal it from Washington State or Oregon State. I think Washington State's going to be the Pac-12 champ this year.
I know that, Michigan beating Ohio State could muck things up in the Big Ten standings. But this is the Pac-12 championship game. Whoever wins is alive. Whoever loses dies. And it's those two teams. Can't wait.